I think I did that once. That was a disaster as well. I haven't done that again since.
Hello, my name is Kay Anderson and you are listening to Lost Spaces, a podcast that mourns the death of queer nightlife. Every episode I talk to a different person about a venue from their past, the memories they created there and the people that they used to know. Quiet Choir are a London-based minimalist prog rock band. Quiet Choir is also the name of the band's front person, who I met up with to talk about Trash Palace, a relatively short-lived bar that stood on Wardour Street in London's Chinatown in the mid-noughties. What is notable about Trash Palace is that it was launched by Simon Hobart, the promoter behind both Popstars with a Z and The Ghetto, and it catered to a more alternative crowd. Oh, and before you listen to Quiet Choir and I ramble along incoherently, you may want to take a listen to the episode where I interview Charlotte Richardson Andrews about The Ghetto, as there's a wee bit of overlap between the two stories. So, when I first got in touch with you and told you about Lost Spaces and I told you about this podcast, you wanted to talk about Trash Palace.
I did. I still do.
You still do?
Yeah.
Brilliant. 'Cause otherwise,
lucky, isn't
this
it?
is going to be really boring. Why Trash Palace?
So I thought about, when you said it to me, I thought the first venue that came to mind was obviously Ghetto. But I thought someone with much more knowledge and stories and someone way cooler will obviously do Ghetto. And then it turned out my friend Charlotte did do Ghetto. So that was a good choice for me to do Trash Palace.
So we're just doing the poor cousin Trash Palace.
The poor cousin, yeah. Yeah. So basically, like, Trash Palace was where we used to go before going to Ghetto, sort of as like a warm-up drink thing,
because it was more of a bar than a club.
Yeah, and it was like really cool to go there, and I really liked doing the walk from there to Ghetto as well, because like Trash Palace was in like Wardour Street, and then you'd walk past, I think, if I remember properly, like Soho Square, I think, to get to around the back.
Yes.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd walk up like
one of those streets,
Greek Street or something,
to get to Piss Alley.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
yeah.
Like, none of that exists anymore. Yeah. So when was Trash Palace opened from?
So I think I first went in 2005, and then I think the last time I probably would have been at some point in 2007.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about quite a short period of time.
Oh, I thought that was quite long, actually.
Well, but it's a very distinct part of your life. So
yeah, exactly.
What was happening at that time?
Well, the first time that I went there was when I was going out with Michelle, who is Charlotte's girlfriend, who she talked about before Charlotte was. And they actually went out after we did, and they've been together like 14 years, so that's fine by me. And I think Michelle was they did this weird thing where they were trying to get, so this would have been 2005, free DJs, essentially. So what they did, they like advertised it as being a competition, so that you got like random queers going, oh, I'll do a half-hour set. Oh, it's a competition. But essentially all that happened was they had a DJ DJing for half an hour. Everyone was DJing for free. And I don't even know if they got a prize, but I think Michelle did win. But I'll have to find out if she actually got a prize.
She just won glory.
Yeah, I think she won glory, and that was it. Well, you know, she might not even remember she did that. So the glory can't have been like that powerful.
And so this was the first time that you ever went there?
I think that was the first time was for that competition. That's the first time I remember being there.
And do you remember your first impressions?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I remember it being red. And is that an impression? A colour?
Yeah.
The red had a big impression on me. And then I remember went upstairs, and then I think there were 2 floors, but I think we always hung out on like the first floor.
Mm.
yeah, I thought it was cool.
Whenever I do like these interviews, I always do a little bit of like research online, and generally end up on the Yelp page.
I think I did get to there.
And there's still all these reviews on there from like people from like 2006 and 7. And one person was like, "I probably wouldn't have stayed as long if we didn't get a booth."
A booth? I don't even remember their bit. Oh, I remember the booth. There was a massive booth, but you couldn't be in there with like one person. Maybe they were talking about a big group. Yeah, they must have had friends.
Yeah, I mean,
Lucky
that's just
her.
like not like us.
Just stand in the corner, thanks.
So you first met Michelle through Gaydar Girls,
Yeah.
and how did that happen? So the thing I remember most about my conversation with Charlotte is that she didn't have a photo on her
Yeah,
profile.
I remember she didn't have a photo.
Did you have a photo?
I had a photo, and she liked my photo because my photo was a picture of me. Oh, wow. Holding, I totally don't have this photo anymore, holding like a samurai sword, like in front of my face. So you could sort of see my eyes above the samurai sword, but she really likes like Japanese films and stuff. And it was sort of like...
Mysterious.
So, yeah, so she was messaging me, but she didn't have a picture. And I wouldn't meet someone who didn't have a picture.
No, because why?
Like, you know, when you can filter out doesn't have a profile picture. and then I was messaging Michelle as well, and then when me and Michelle went on a date, and then she said, she was like, so have you met up with anyone else from Gaydar Girls? And I was like, no. And I was like, what about you? And then she was like, oh, well. And then she started talking about Charlotte. And she said that, well, I met one of them in real life. And yeah, they were quite fit. Because obviously she hasn't got a photo. So it was like, oh, right.
And did that make you rethink whether or not you wanted to meet up with her?
No. Not too serious back in 2005.
Oh. But so you've moved away then from online dating. You're not interested.
Yeah, I haven't done that for wow. People are going to be like, how are you living? I don't know. I think it was around, it would have been then, so that would have been about...
Oh, so you've not done
yeah.
But so like, I'm really naive. I'm going to ask a really dumb question. What is the Grindr equivalent for women?
I think it's called... I think there's one called Brenda. Do you not know Brenda?
No.
So I think it's spelt like grinder, but Brend, then with an R on the end. I think that's right. I could have dreamt that. That's the sort of thing I do dream. I haven't looked at it.
Brenda.
Yeah.
But so, and
I've when I've gone to other countries, I've like looked there because if I'm by myself and I think, you know, if there's someone about and then I'm doing nothing, that would be cool. Go out for coffee, see a place I haven't seen before. But here, I'm all right for that. But I also, no one has also been interested in. So I've gone away and then I haven't had messages. I think girls are funny with messaging other girls. It's like or whatever it is you do, and they like you back, and then you're like, "What, are you going to message me?"
Oh yeah, I can't be doing with that.
I don't
it's too passive.
Yeah, and I'm just really not that bothered.
So you're a bit like, let's get down to business or no dice.
Yeah, I think so. But I think now I'm also in I feel like I need someone to someone, that sounded really desperate, didn't it? To be the person who makes the move. Yeah. Because it didn't go too well my last time, so...
What? So it didn't go well one time, so you're giving up forever?
It was the last time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to give up forever, but for the foreseeable future...
You're going to let them come to you?
Absolutely.
Is that... So I'm a bit fascinated about this. Just in general. Is, like, do you switch your style depending on the person and the chemistry between you, or are you just always like, I am for want of a better term, the aggressor, or I am the...
Oh, no. I think it really depends on, like general dynamics.
Uh-huh.
So I don't really have like a physical type, but I just, yeah, I guess like, yeah, I think it would just be depend on who I was attracted to.
Okay. I find so this, you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you.
Please tell me. We can switch roles if you like.
I find I just get really impatient if I'm waiting for someone else to make the move. So I'm just like, oh, I'll do it, and I always just end up in that position.
And then do you regret it afterwards?
I mean, occasionally, but I hate all the dance of it all, and I'm just like, let's just get this over and done with.
Yeah. Skip to the end.
Yeah. But I guess also I'm a bit, when someone is really forthright and like, hey, we should totally hook up, or like, we should totally hang out.
Lucky you.
Not that happens often. But in cases where that happens, I'm like, like, don't be so pushy.
I think if someone did that to me and I thought, like, and if I met them and there was like some kind of like cosmic chemistry straight away, I'd be like, wow, that was amazing. Otherwise, well, I don't think that's actually ever happened. When someone's, I actually honestly think that's never happened. I think people think I'm going to be that person.
That's like all like, hey, you, get in my car.
Don't drive. Hey, you, I'll call you an Uber, maybe. Yeah, I just don't not really like that. I don't know. I mean,
chill.
It's been so long, I can't even remember. I have to be chill.
But do you even...
no, I think maybe I'm quite intense if I really like someone. And I think they like me, not just if I really like them and think they're not interested.
Okay. You have to be sure.
Yes, absolutely.
But so the first time there, you were with Michelle. Michelle was DJing. Probably won. May not remember that she won.
Yeah. So I can't really, like, did you win a prize? I don't even remember that I did that kind of thing. I think she did win, but I don't think that they gave any prizes away.
Rubbish.
Yeah. And I think they might have done it another time as well. But I think she went, no, I'm not doing it again.
But so, how long after that were you with Michelle?
Oh, it didn't last very long.
So it was just a
couple
brief
of
thing.
months.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
No, a few months. That's quite long for me. I know, not long. We'll go with like average. So probably like 4 months or something. We're still friends. Still cool. They'll listen to this and be like,
oh no.
You should stop talking about me.
So after that, you became a regular at Trash Palace?
So then, I don't really remember. I think I wouldn't have gone for quite a while. And then I think I started going probably in 2006. Me and a couple of friends were going to the one that was Miss Shapes. Was that the Thursday Ghetto?
Yeah.
So we would go there pretty much every Thursday. That was cool. I was living at home. I didn't have a proper job. I was working in a cinema,
That's a proper job.
Yeah, there's nothing that's not an unproper job, but it is when you only work 2 days a week, don't do anything else, and you live at home and you're not paying any rent,
Okay.
I wasn't very serious, so it was like if I had to, I just wouldn't work on the Friday. I'd be like, nah, you're all right. In advance.
So tell me about a typical night then.
So I remember, I think Charlotte said this as well about Ghetto. Red Stripe. Red Stripe was very prominent. I don't know what that was all about.
And so for those who don't know, Red Stripe is a beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
I'm also agreeing that it is a beer, everyone. It is a beer. But I can't drink it now, so I've got a gluten allergy. So fuck knows what I drink. If I went there now, my story would be completely different.
But so Red Stripe had some kind of monopoly on London venues where it was the only drink that was offered. Is it because it was cheap? I
don't know. I'm not on the business end of that. I don't know what like the import costs of the Jamaican beer were.
You don't know what the taxes were.
No. So I think one of my friends used to go with. So I asked her, I was like, "Do you remember anything about it?" She didn't really remember much either, but she said she remembered the beer being cheap and that she didn't have to pay for any of them. And I was pretty much like, I think I was paying. I was definitely paying.
So were you paying for her as well? Is that why she didn't have to pay?
I'm not sure if she meant me or if she meant other girls were buying her beer, which would have been great. Yeah, so we'd go there on Thursdays and then go to Ghetto afterwards and then stay at her house because I used to live in when I was living home in like Hinchley Wood, which is in like Esher.
Which is how far away?
So it would be train to Waterloo would be every half an hour, and that would be maybe like a 35-minute train, something like that. And then I think we would go from there. Maybe I would walk to Trash Palace from there. But like nowadays, that's a big journey to go out on a night out every single week.
Yeah, because from Waterloo to there, that would be another half hour.
Yeah, something like that. But like to do that like regularly, but it was like that is basically what you did because...
What else would you do?
That's where you went. It just so happened that I lived far away.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. So what time of night would you get there?
I might go round my friend's house first. She lives off like in Hammersmith. So then we'd probably go there about 7. Then we would leave there to go to Trash Palace. I feel like 7 is that sounds normal. But that might be the house first time. And then getting there would be whenever. And then we would just make sure we were in Ghetto when it was cheaper. Because is that right? That Ghetto was like cheap before midnight and then you had to pay loads. So whatever we did would have been making sure that we got in before then.
Made a beeline, yeah.
And then we'd be like, one of the last to leave.
So you'd be at Trash Palace loading up on drink?
Kind of chilling out, nothing like mad. Like we'd still be able to walk to Ghetto quite sensibly. Yeah, I remember, it's quite sensible, I think. But it was fun.
Why do you think that culture exists? And maybe it doesn't anymore because licensing laws have changed, where people go to a bar first to drink and then go to a club.
Can you say that again?
Sure. Why do you think that is kind of the ceremony of going out, where people go to drink in one place and then go to the club?
So I think like sometimes you can go to a place first because then people might not always want to go to the club after. So then you can sort of see some people there and then move on to the club. But also I think you can talk. Yeah. I mean, you can talk anywhere, but I mean, you can hear people talk in the bar before the club. The club, you're not going to hear anything.
Yeah.
You're just going to be dancing or standing in the corner.
Alone.
Watching people, watching people dance.
Oh, no.
No, that didn't really happen.
Oh, okay. Oh.
No,
okay.
It's okay. Everything's fine.
Good. But there's something magical as well, isn't there, about like having that plan and everyone knowing that plan and going like, all right, we've got to go now because we have to get there before such and such a time.
Exactly.
And then that walk and that anticipation and the hype of like, oh, we're going to get there and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And then you'd have the walk from there to the bus stop home. That wasn't as good a walk as the walk to the place.
Yeah.
From the place,
Well, it depends who you were with.
I was always with the same friends.
Oh, so you never pulled?
No.
What?
I had one random snog in... Oh, no, that was in Ghetto, so I don't need to talk about that.
Yes.
No, never. It was very...
no.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't need to apologise. It's okay. You weren't turning me down.
No. I would have, though, just for the record.
Wouldn't have tried anything.
So tell me about the friends that you were with. So there's one friend who was scamming cheap drinks. And who's that?
Oh.
Free drinks, sorry.
I don't want to say names.
Okay, so let's make up a name.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fun. I have to think of a name. And I'll let her know that that's who she was. I can't think of anything now.
Jeez. Carolina. Will that do?
Carolina. Do I know a Carolina?
Oh, jeez.
Carolina's going to call me up and be like, can't believe you're talking about me. Yeah, okay, so Carolina. Yeah, we'll go with Carolina. That's fun.
Then, so was it the kind of like the two of you comrades going out every Thursday?
Yeah, kind of. And then, then we would end up meeting loads of like random people, but the same random people in Ghetto. But I'm not like really friends with them now. I mean, we weren't really friends at the time. But I mean,
but you would say hello.
We'd be like, oh hi, and they'd be like, oh hi.
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
And so at this time in your life, you talked about working in the cinema, being a bit directionless. Those are my words, not yours. Sorry.
That's okay.
And I'm going to continue to project onto you. Does that mean that there was more importance placed on that night?
Oh, do you know what? I wasn't working at the cinema then at all. I was working at this pub, and I was absolutely useful. I was going to say useful, useless. I was useless, and everyone kept giving me tips as money tips. But the landlady wasn't very happy about me getting tips. I'm not really sure what that was all about.
Because she thought they weren't deserved.
I think that she wanted the money for her own pub rather than the customers giving me their money.
Oh.
Yeah, it was weird.
So she was just against tipping?
Unless we were spending the money on buying drinks. But I would be cycling home and I wouldn't be able to drink all that in drinks. That's how free and hippy dippy I was at home. I can't even remember what I was doing. I think I started working at a cinema a bit later. And I was working at a pub then, and I would make sure I wasn't working on the Fridays. Sorry about that.
No,
We've just fucked up that timeline.
But so yeah, like given what was happening in your life, was there more of an importance placed on that, on your nightlife and on that social life because of fuck all else happening?
Whatever it was else I was doing. I remember it was quite important, and it was almost like something we would religiously do.
Yeah.
It was we just did that. And then I ended up meeting my most serious relationship person in Trash Palace. But
So
I
we
still
just
stand
need to-
by it, but I didn't hook up. We didn't hook up. Just going to throw that one out there.
Can we just focus on how you described the person, my most serious relationship person?
I think that sounds really nice.
So it's not girlfriend, it's most serious relationship person.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because then, they were a very serious person. They were not at all. But yeah, so we met in there. And that was a mutual friend at the time's birthday party. Oh yeah, and it was just before. It was around Valentine's Day, and oh dear. Oh no, I don't even think I could. I forgot about that. No, I just remembered it. That was big. It was around Valentine's Day, and I wasn't going to Ghetto after. I'm not even sure if it was a Thursday. It might have been a different day. So this would have been around Valentine's Day 2007. I was leaving, so I was putting on my scarf, and then she was taking off of her scarf because she just got there, and then she said to me, I think she was like, "Oh, are you leaving?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Where are you going?" Or like, "Where do you live?" I was like, "Oh, I live really far away." It's like, she's like, "Where do you live?" I was like, "Oh, in Esher." And then she was like, "Eshaw.com." I was like, "That's hilarious." And I was like, I hadn't actually heard that one before, and I thought it was very funny. And then she asked me if I was friends with the girl whose birthday it was, if I was her MySpace friend.
Oh.
I know. And I was like, no. I was like, I'm her friend in real life. And she was like, no, I meant, are you friends with her on MySpace? I was just like, yeah. So then, like, I think maybe the next day, then we, like, sent, like... So, yeah, we MySpace, and then we had set up, like, a date. But it was... for me, I was like, well, just seemed... That was an obvious big thing that was happening. Like, I knew it was going to be a good one. I knew it was going to be my most serious relationship person.
So you mean, like, when the conversation started on MySpace... You kind of had that feeling of... In
Trash Palace, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So in that conversation, in the scarf, the eshaw.com, that was it. And it was probably about 5 minutes long. And I was like, "Who's your friend? She's really cute." And then she was like, "Who's your friend? She's really cute." Apparently we found that out separately.
Yeah. And so I was going to ask...
And she went back with someone else that night. and described our meeting. She described how we met as being, it was really magical. And I was like, "But you hooked up with somebody else the same night?" It was that magical.
Well, you got to keep your options open. I mean,
well, you're single. You can do what you want, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to ask you about what your flirting style is.
Oh my style!
But it sounds as though you're quite oblivious when someone's hitting on you.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. What's my style? Oh, I've reverted quite far back recently. So someone recently was asking me what my type was, and cute girl asking me what my type was. I could base. Yeah, oh. I know. So obviously I don't say them. So and then I said, so it was like low self-esteem with an air of arrogance. I was like that. So people always think like physically, like what's your type? That doesn't really matter to me. But now I've changed it to people who know who they are and people who know themselves. Oh, so I've let go of that last one. So it wasn't working out.
You don't want them to have low self-esteem.
I don't want people to have low self-esteem.
I thought you said that was your type. So
yeah, but it was like, people who have low self-esteem, but not like they don't tell you. They have an air of arrogance. That's what you see.
That they're masking the low self-esteem.
Yeah, and then you find out, and then you're just like, oh my god, but you're so amazing. How do you not know how amazing you are? I think you're amazing. I want to be with you all the time. And then they're like, oh my god, you're way too much for me. Oh. Yeah. So I thought, well, now I'll go with someone who knows themselves.
But are you actually attracted to someone who knows themselves?
I don't actually.
Or do you still want the broken person?
No, I don't want it. I don't want anyone to be broken. I don't want to save anyone.
But do you though?
No, I really don't.
Can you stop yourself? That's the question I'm asking.
Well, there's no one around for me to save. This is me flirting.
I'm plenty damaged if you want to get to work. Where did you go on your first date then?
Oh, we went to... so it was either one way round or the other. So one of us took one the first time, and then the other took the other. That sounds weird. The second time, I think she took me to. I've got to get this the right way round. Oh yeah, she took me out for mussels. This is a great story. In Belgo in Covent Garden, and she lived in Peckham, and we went to Belgo, and at these shared a big pot of mussels, white wine, and then with a white not garlic sauce, some white wine sauce thing. And then we went to a pub that I think is still there. It's a great pub. I used to go there quite a bit actually, as well. The Royal George. So then we went in there, and I got like a pint of Leffe. I mean, I don't know, people shouldn't give Leffe in a pint glass, but I had like a couple of sips, and I was like, I'm not feeling quite right. And just before, we got followed, and maybe we went there first. But we got followed by like a group of people, like a woman and two men. And I went downstairs into the Royal George. This is our first date, right? Downstairs into the Royal George, because they got like a basement area. And this woman like points at the sign, and it says, no smoking downstairs. Oh, that's back in the day as well, isn't it? Jeez. So she says like, no smoking. And it was sort of making me read it, while somebody else put their hands in my bag and tried to rob me. And she's upstairs trying to get us drinks. I'm down there with the bag, like, and I was just like, take your hand out of my fucking bag. And she was all like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And then they sort of ran up the stairs, and I ran up the stairs sort of off, was going, oh, they just tried to mug me. And then when we were leaving to get the number 12 bus that used to never ever come ever. So we were out there, and then basically I ended up projectile vomiting from the mussels all the way down Charing Cross Road. I mean, very many times, like Exorcist style. And then she was like, oh, I'll go in the shop. And she went in the shop and got some baby wipes, and then wiped sick off of my trainers. And I was like, you really like me, don't you? She like looks up at me like, yeah. So I think that was the first date.
Okay, that sounds good. Sounds
I mean, it was progressive.
Keeping up this flirting style that we've been talking about, like really suave, getting in there. And so, did you ever go to Trash Palace on dates?
No, I think it must have closed. I remember meeting her in there, but I don't ever remember going in there with her again.
Ah. So if we go back to Carolina, or was it
Was
Carolina?
it Carolina?
Carolina. How do we pronounce this fake woman's name? Anyway.
They know who we're talking about.
Carolina. You said that you used to go to Trash Palace religiously, and it was kind of just an expected thing. Do you remember ever one of the two of you letting the other one down?
I don't think if one of us wasn't able to go, that it would be like a letdown. Because Carolina had, that's her name. Carolina had, I think she had like a proper job. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So I think if that was becoming too much or something else was too much, then it would always be fine. It wouldn't be like I'd be sitting at home going, I can't believe I'm not going today, or anything like that.
Well, what I would like to point out now is that you, Carolina, had a proper job.
Yeah.
And you were the one buying drinks.
Oh, that's a good point. But I still am not sure if it was. I don't think I was buying her drinks and me drinks.
Okay. But
I feel like I don't know how she was getting these drinks.
Let's talk about physically what the bar was like. So you've talked about it coming in, going up some stairs.
Yeah. I remember red, long, and I feel like it was kind of like modern looking. It wasn't dingy, it was quite new looking. Obviously that's what modern means. I just remember it being red. Other than that, I have not much a memory of what it looked like.
It was split over 2 floors.
Yeah. So I think the booth that this person was talking about with the lots of friends, I remember that booth that was upstairs, on the second floor, and then the first floor was like the bar, and it was a long bar. I think it maybe have had a stagery sort of thing at the end.
Yeah.
But my friend did the DJing thing from the little right-hand corner bit. It wasn't very busy that night.
The little right-hand corner bit. And what kind of people would you expect to see when you went there?
Probably like queers in their early 20s. I think it was a lot of girls there, which is good, because most places are mainly men.
Yeah, because it felt like at that time it was much less integrated. And places like Ghetto and Trash Palace were that more open.
It might depend, I think, depending on the days. Because, when I was in Ghetto, I never, ever thought, like, that the ratio was really strong.
Yeah.
Now I way prefer going places where there's loads more women, obviously. And then when I don't, I always end up getting the number of a boy, a gay boy. So I managed to do that. My flirting works with the gay boys. Because they might not think I'm flirting. I don't know. I'm confused now. But yeah, and then I'm like, how does this happen? Like, I come home with a number not of the female species.
And what kind of music would you expect to hear there?
I remember that they would play a couple of songs that we would hear in Trash Palace, and then we'd hear again in Ghetto, which is cool. And I remember Decepticon, obviously. But I don't remember anything else. But I'd always remember when that song would come on.
What is that?
Oh, that's the Latiga one.
Oh.
Do you want me to sing?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one. You know that.
Yeah, I know that. Oh, God, yeah.
Who doesn't want to hear that?
So it was that kind of alternative.
Yeah, exactly.
Music.
That's what I was into. Not so much like pop stuff. That's for children.
It has a place. And so was that the kind of crowd that it attracted, that more on the more alternative side?
Yeah, I think so. But on the Thursdays, it was quite like more like indie alternative. Nothing crazy. Not like because like Charlotte was talking about Red Eye, so that would be more like punk or goth. So that, I guess, that kind of crowd would look more extreme.
Yeah. So it was just poses.
Like a Thursday. Yeah, poses. We'll go with that, yeah. Nothing too wild. Just casual poses.
Okay, so it's like people who thought they were really alternative but listened to the Killers.
I didn't listen to the Killers.
No, I'm talking about...
They did.
Yeah, I'm not talking about you.
Everybody else.
I'm just like trying to generalise about everyone else that was there. Oh, the Killers. Do you remember hearing about it closing?
I remember somebody told me. I don't know, I feel like I'm singing the Killers. I don't listen to them. Somebody told me. I do, but I don't think, like, my heart didn't sink or anything. It was like, oh, that, like, there's another one. Because I feel like it was after, like, Ghetto and the Astoria and round there. I feel like that happened after, and it just felt like, oh, that's another place. But it's not. But by that time, I wasn't really going. So see, it's my fault. I stopped going. It closes down. So yeah, I think if I was still going, and they were saying that they're gonna, like, if they closed it down in 2006 at my peak of Thursday nights going there all the time, that would have been quite sad. And not nice.
Yeah, but
it's rubbish.
There's also some, like, because Trash Palace wasn't actually there for very long, was it?
Yeah, I know. I don't think so. Yeah, so I guess it wouldn't have had a big history behind it as well, where you're going, you're tearing that place down. What are you doing? It's got like a legacy.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like a fun time, and then because I'd stopped going there as well. I think that can change how you feel about somewhere.
Did you ever go to Trash Palace? Do you have any stories or anecdotes or photos that you'd like to share? If you do, please do get in touch. I'm on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all of those other places under the user handle KAndersonMusic. Lost Spaces is a concept record as well as a podcast. I've been writing songs about different people in different venues with different experiences, and I'm going to be releasing them over the next 12 months. You can hear the first song from the set, called Well Groomed Boys, on all streaming platforms now, and it's even playing underneath my talking as I speak. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would be super appreciative if you could subscribe. It would also make a huge difference if you could tell people about this, because the only way it's going to grow is if people find out about it. My name is Kay Anderson. Thank you for listening to Lost Spaces.